When Taylor Swift released The Fate of Ophelia, one line quietly changed everything. I swore my loyalty to me, myself, and I. It's a lyric about coming home, about turning inward before you turn toward anyone else. And if we look through the New Lens method, this is where transformation truly begins. When you stop searching for completion and start pledging allegiance to your own worth. Today, we're unpacking what that means scientifically, spiritually, and energetically, because this isn't just a pop lyric, it's a roadmap to magnetism. So, just like many of you out there, I was not a Swiftie pre Travis Kelce. And I know that's full disclosure, but I wasn't. I wasn't that person who was waiting up all night for her album to drop, to download. I appreciated her as a very talented songwriter and artist, but she wasn't someone who consumed my attention, who I really was focused on. And then Travis Kelce happened. It was like, wow, I'm hooked. Okay, I'm intrigued. I want to know what's going on here. And so watching that whole story blossom, this relationship, and seeing her just joyful. I mean, when she got engaged, I was just tearing up. But I was so like, oh my God, this is so sweet. I thought this is something more than this. There's something bigger happening here. There's something bigger than two people falling in love, two famous people falling in love. There's more to it that is going on here that's really hitting a nerve and touching my heart, touching millions of hearts. And then the album dropped. And this is the first time I did stream her album on the day it was released. And of course, the first song, The Fate of Ophelia, came on Spotify. And I listened to it once, then I listened to it 10 times, I listened to it 20 times. I mean, it's obviously very addicting, that melody. It just gets into your head. It's amazingly addicting. But the lyric that jumps out to me is when she says, I pledge myself to me, myself, and I. Because the little that I know about Taylor, she was dating a lot. She had a lot of very public relationships. It seems like painful endings to relationships. It took her time to find her way. And just like everyone else, just she's doing it in full color in front of the whole world. So we all go through that in our own way, but she very publicly went through that. And for her to put that lyric in the song, I pledge myself to me, myself, and I, means something. It's actually, to me, it's like a declaration of energetic alignment. This is the moment when a woman reclaims her power. It's like, I'm coming in, I'm swooping in, and I'm owning myself. I'm connecting with myself. And this is a big shift for her because it also implies no longer seeking approval and looking outside for something in other areas of her life, but turning it around and turning inward. And it's big. So just like a storybook, as fate would have it, she has her 4th of July party and makes this declaration. And then almost again, poetically, not long after that bow, real love arrived. Like, I don't know exactly when they met, but it was in the summer. So imagine she makes this declaration. Imagine at the end of July, she hears from Travis. So it's pretty incredible, the timing here, because he didn't come into her life while she was dating the other guy. He didn't come into her life before the other guy. He came into her life so quickly after she made that declaration and that comment and that said those words to herself. There's something extremely powerful going on here. So a thought that comes to me as I'm talking about this is, before you can attract true aligned love, you have to belong to yourself, period. Because how can you even be the target or the interest of someone who wants that? Because the person you're looking for is this full person that is willing to give of himself or herself. They are looking for somebody who's fully embodying who they are. That is the attraction of that person. They're not looking outside. They're not distracted and insecure in a million directions. They know who they are. They're connected to themselves. That is the power of that attraction. So let's go a little deeper. You get to a point where things need to change and you know it. And that to me is when that real growth happens. And that makes sense to me. You have to be pushed to that point where you know, I need to do this differently. And what I've been doing isn't working. I can say that for myself. When I actually made the change to click in that I talked about before, where I knew that I was worthy of something great, that didn't happen because I was having a beautiful rainbows and unicorns kind of year. That was the rock bottom moment when I had to realize things need to change. And part of that change for me was, in a way, what she's saying, not clearly as overtly as Taylor's saying it, but saying like, I'm committing to myself. I'm going to really take care of myself. I'm going to commit to doing whatever I need to do and pledge to myself to honor myself the way I want and to grow in a new way. So it's like it can happen at the end of a difficult time. It's almost like you hit a wall and decide to change the story. So what does pledging yourself mean? We aren't talking about here self-care. We aren't talking about bubble baths. We aren't even talking about therapy. We are talking about honoring yourself all the way. And honestly, when I think about this, for me, like my impression as a woman, as someone who's been through a lot, and as a coach, I think of it also as honoring your spirit and all the way, like your inner child, your story, the beginning, where you came from, all of it, honoring who you are. It's all a very powerfully loving feeling. It's not honoring that I'm going to improve myself. That's not how I'm reading this and how I'm thinking. It's total, complete acceptance and celebration of yourself and committing to yourself and honoring yourself to be who you are all the way, 100%. And to start looking inward for any validation you need instead of outside of yourself. That often leads to the wrong messages and disappointment. So a key point of this is, I will no longer abandon myself for love, approval, or belonging. I'm going to say that one again because it hits so deep for me personally. And I hope it helps you. I hope it touches something inside of you. I will no longer abandon myself for love, approval, or belonging. So pledging to yourself is the opposite of abandoning. Abandoning is disowning, separating from, stepping away from. And the opposite is just honoring, sacred, pledging. So no longer abandoning yourself for anyone, for anything, for any reason. You have you are with you, and you are like, it's fierce. I think it's fierce. I think it's incredible. I think it's powerful. And I know that it's magnetic, which we're going to be getting into. I can say that for me, again, as a coach, as a woman, this idea of self abandonment is so common It's culturally ingrained, it's society, and potentially it's even in your family, like your hereditary emotional background, that women would abandon themselves for many things, for family responsibilities, which is complicated, but completely abandoning themselves is never a good thing. And women have abandoned themselves in the name of love, relationships, everything. It's really not that rare, actually. And I think that's a big part of why there's such an uprise, there's such an uptick in divorces happening where women are initiating them, because somewhere it's hitting them at 60 or 55. They're reclaiming themselves and realizing this is not the life that they actually want or ever wanted, that maybe in the beginning they had abandoned themselves to begin with. So this is a big one. This is a very big deal. And this idea of self-abandonment, this really connects to the lens of worthiness, which I've mentioned in previous podcasts, is absolutely the number one thing that's coming up for my clients, for people in my life that are asking me, why can't I meet someone? Why can't I meet someone? If they genuinely want to meet someone, the reason they're not has to do with their worthiness, because it's got to be there to attract a healthy relationship. The worthiness is the driver. It's the feeling of knowing you deserve it and then being able to receive it. This is the big piece that's missing. So this whole concept also ties into that sense of worthiness to me when I'm listening to it, when I'm watching it. Now I'm going to talk for a minute about the science of self-belief. Tara Swire, who I'm going to be sharing a lot more about her and her book that she just wrote. It's pretty great. She's a neuroscientist. So she talks about neuroplasticity and emotional safety physically rewires the brain. Her book is called The Source. And a quote I want to share is, attract what you expect. There's the worthiness. Reflect what you desire. Become what you respect. Mirror what you admire. So this is all part of our evolution. We know that we can actually physically change. The brain scans. We have the capacity to change the way we think, and we can evolve no matter what, which is incredible. And we know from the Newlands method that shifting our internal state changes our external reality. Just like that famous quote I come back to again and again. We do not see things as they are. We see them as we are. And when our energy says, I'm safe to love and be loved, the world mirrors that back. So in the process of pledging to yourself, it's almost like, in my mind, again, going a little bit deep here, but like really, really honoring, claiming, reclaiming all parts of yourself when you're doing this, your inner child, your teenager, like the angst, all of it, everything. You're just honoring, accepting, you're cherishing, and there's safety in that. And when we have that safety, it's safe for us to love and be loved because we are in charge of ourselves. We are not vulnerable to someone else who we're giving all of our power to, abandoning ourselves for somebody else. So if he breaks up with us, we're destroyed. It's not the same. It's I am safe because I belong to me, and I can get hurt and I can be disappointed, but it's not the same because I have my own power, and that's never going to change. This is a whole different way of thinking about love and relationships that I think is where we're heading. I think that's where a lot of the literature is going that I'm reading. And I believe at the heart of a lot of fascination with this. When we honor our inner child, we honor the divine essence in ourselves. And then we're capable of honoring that in others, which is awesome. In the idea of magnetism, which again is another really big topic right now, we know that like attracts like, not because we chase, but because we embody. And we know through magnetism is like attracts like. And it's not because we chase, it's because we embody, we attract what we embody. In Tara's example, when she connected with herself, love reflected that alignment. It's no more chasing. I know I'm worthy. And that's when love comes in. Because if there's a part of you that's looking for something, it sends a signal that you're somehow incomplete. If there's a part of you seeking something, there's something missing inside of you. And I know it's just a tiny little degree of shift, but if you think of it like this way, where I own myself, I'm empowered, I'm in a different place of fullness, then you're attracting someone else who's full. And that's where you can have more healthy love, because neither person is lacking and hoping to fill the void. So that's why there's more layers to this. It's a confidence too, that there's nothing to prove. This is who I am. There's nothing to prove. So in my coaching moment, I want to share with you something I wrote in thinking more about what this means to really pledge myself to myself. And it says, I honor where I came from totally and completely. I honor the path that has led me to the moment that I am in today. I honor the spirit inside of me. I commit fully to embracing and honoring myself for who I am, always and forevermore. I will always be my biggest cheerleader. I will be the best friend to myself that I've always wanted. I will tenderly mother myself when I need that too. I will cherish my feelings and care for them tenderly. I will live my life as if I am enough, because I know I am enough. So every time you honor that vow, I pledge myself to myself, you strengthen your energetic signature. And that's what makes you radiant. So how are you going to do that? Does this touch a nerve with you? Do you want to pledge yourself to yourself? Is there a part of you that is waiting for you to do that? So what do you think? So many of us wait for love to complete us. But perhaps, as Taylor reminds us, love finds us when we finally belong to ourselves. This week, I invite you to write your own pledge. Whisper it, live it, just do it. Because the moment you truly belong to yourself, that's when everything you desire begins to find you. I'm Tricia Rose Stone, and this was Her New Lens. If this episode resonated, share it with a friend who's learning to come home to herself too. And join me next time as we explore another lens, one that will help you see your highest life more clearly. Until then,